Do you actually sort of feel yourself drawn to being the naysaying position? I mean, after so many years of preaching what you have preached, so to speak, I mean, have you fallen into this definition of a role? I mean, in other words, do you see yourself evolving at all and your views evolving? Have you sort of staked out a position that started 30 years ago and said, okay, this is who I am and this is how I'm defining myself ad infinitum? Do you see a personal growth and evolution and
got me to that position
and sense of personal change to where you kind of have a broader or a different or more comprehensive view than you might have had through?
I do, but I think it's more in delivery and understanding about policies and understanding how blowback works, and I continually read the books by former CIA agents who understand foreign policy and have been weapons inspectors and all these things. So that has evolved. There's been, after the basic understanding, which occurred probably by the time I ran for Congress the first time, there haven't been a whole lot of changes, in total views. The one issue when people ask me if I have ever changed anything, and I think most of it's, the understanding and the presentation. But the one position I've changed is I do not support the national death penalty, a federal death penalty. And this, as much for practical reasons as anything else, because of this trend toward DNA proving, so many innocent people have been convicted of crimes. And also, wealthy people can get off, and the ineptness of big government, and most death penalty charges should be state. So I just don't get the federal government out of that. But as a president or a congressman, I don't have the authority to tell Texas what to do with the death penalty. So I wouldn't try to tell them what to do. But for instance, I haven't had a change on that position. There haven't been a lot of other significant changes. They have remained.
So you pretty much staked out where you stand 30 years ago, and it's really a reiteration of those same principles.
Yeah, I think so, and it's just refining those ideas.
One thing that does strike me as interesting is that given your political philosophy or philosophy towards government, you're directing that at the federal government because you are in Congress, that's been your orientation, but it still does allow, on the state level, all those governmental intrusions and excesses.
Yeah, we do not have the authority to prevent it. When the Constitution was written, there was a state religion in Connecticut. I mean, that's how much they respected states to make mistakes. It's just up to the states to deal with that. So
it seems like to achieve ultimately what you want to achieve, you not only have to have a Ron Paul revolution in a national sense directed to the federal government, but also in 50 states.
True libertarian, limited government revolution has to go to the local level,
right?
Because federal government has a lot of regulations on how we use our land, but so does the state, and so does our city. You better check out every bureaucracy to find out you're not breaking some law. You can't even put a room in your house without the local people coming and checking out. So you'd have a lot of effort if you carried this on down. But the responsibility at my level would be to get the government.
One final question, and you know this from talking to a lot of people, a lot of your neighbors, and just people you've known over the years. Do people really want limited government like they say they do, or do they not? I mean, do they say they want it, and then when they need something, do they really want the government to provide it for them?
And it's the key question, because if 30% don't and 70% of people really want it, we can't have much success, because attitudes are very, very important. It's probably 50-50, somewhere in there. But the reason why we'll win is not so much that we convince people that they shouldn't take from government and benefit. It's that the government's going broke. The system is not functioning anymore. There's no more money to pass out. All we can do is print paper and pass it out. So the system is going to end. That's why they have to one way or the other to have total socialism and total poverty and totalitarianism. We're going to say, the founders were right. We were going in the right directions. Free people can take care of themselves. The government's role is to provide protection for contracts, property rights, sound money, and a policy to protect us from foreign invasion. And all of a sudden, we would be wealthy in no time. And that's really the debate of the times right now. And in the next 20 years, it's going to be decided. Maybe a lot sooner, but we don't know what the events will be that will precipitate the crisis. But it's unstable. The system is absolutely unstable. The financial conditions of the world are unstable. The dollar system will end, and it's a worldwide phenomenon because the dollar is the reserve currency of the world, and it will not be resolved easily because the world will become poorer, and our people are starting to recognize that now. There's a lot more people in the middle class that are struggling to pay their bills. Just right now, inflation rates are going up. They can't pay their energy bills. I think where we were in Nevada yesterday, the gasoline price for regular was $3.87. So prices are pretty high.